Third's team leader in critical condition after car bomb explosion. Third's agent Sloane Brodie rushed to hospital after coalition attack on Third's teammate goes awry. Third's issues threat level red alert after one agent is shot and a team leader is critically injured by coalition leader Beck Hogan.
The headlines went on and on and on, dredging up anything connected to Sloane. They posted images of Gabe, ran old news footage of his death, of the funeral, before they moved on to Sloane's new partner. Once again, Dex found his image plastered all over the news, footage of him leaving the courthouse after sending his HPF partner away. It didn't end there. The whole team was dragged into it, most of the footage from before Dex had been recruited. There was Ash tackling some Therian perp to the ground during a case and restraining him, looking fierce and menacing. Rosa rushing to give medical aid to a wounded citizen. Letty shooting the lock off a warehouse door before the team rushed in. Calvin running toward his partner after setting an explosive device that Hobbs then set off. When Kale's face came on the screen, Dex couldn't take it anymore. He'd wanted to punch something so bad, he'd been forced to leave the waiting area. For hours he walked up and down the halls, around the hospital grounds, and drank enough coffee from the Garden Cafe. The staff was on a first-name basis with him. He tried to keep himself busy so he wouldn't drive himself out of his mind with worst-case scenarios. He'd wandered around the Greenberg Pavilion and its wings, then the Baker, Payson, and Whitney pavilions, before making his way back to the Greenberg. These days, hospitals were trying to look less clinical with art on the walls, bright colors, comfy couches, restaurants, and hotel suites. That was fine with him, but it wouldn't ease his nerves or alter the sick feeling in his stomach. It wouldn't stop him from seeing Sloane unconscious under the battered car door or the jagged piece of metal sticking out of him. The images had his stomach reeling, and the reality of what had happened, what could still happen, had Dex running to the nearest trash can. Once he was done losing what little was in his stomach, he wiped his mouth, grateful for the cafe attendant who ran over to offer him help and some antibacterial wipes. He cleaned himself off and allowed them to lead him to a chair where he sat down and thanked them. The young man brought him a bottle of water and made sure he was okay before going back to his duties. Dex had no idea how long he'd sat there, trying to hold on to his composure. Dex's family and teammates took turns scouring the hospital for him to make sure he was okay. It was usually a quick assessment. No one was ready to utter a word, as if any kind of conversation might influence the outcome. Dex had been staring out the glass doors of the hospital entrance when Kale rushed over. Dex braced himself. "Dex, the nurse says the doctor's going to come out and speak with us. Did they say anything about Sloane?" He hurried after his brother to the waiting area. Kale shook his head. "Nothing." When Dex joined the rest of his team inside the tastefully decorated lounge of soothing gray hues, they acknowledged him before returning to their previous fretting. They looked lost, like they were waiting for Sloane to come out and tell them everything was okay. Dex knew the feeling. The team spent so much time together on the job, and off it. It was hard not falling into their roles, no matter the situation, and Sloane's role was of leader. They'd follow him to hell and back. Dex understood how this might be doubly hard for the team, what with having lost Gabe. He could imagine what was running through their minds. It was probably somewhere along the same line as his thoughts. Would they be attending another funeral?